I'm Chef Don McMillan. Welcome to Simple and Delicious Recipes. Well, today we're not quite going to have a recipe because I'm going to show you how to get started. We're going to talk about basic knife skills. That's right, basic knife skills. Here's how I'm going to do it. First of all, we have our cutting board, and I'm putting a damp paper towel there, and I'm going to place my cutting board right on top so it doesn't move. If you have a sharp knife, and that's important, and by the way, we do have other videos on how to sharpen a knife as well, this is what you want to do. Remember, your most important tools are your two hands. Always keep that in mind. Holding a knife is very important, and I put 4 fingers there and my thumb right on the knife, just like that, so I have a firm grip. Now, let's cut some onions. So here's our basic onion, and as you see, we have 2 parts. We have the flower part and the root part. So the first thing I want to do is show you how to do a really easy diced onion. I'm going to cut off this part right here, which is the flower part, turn it around, and cut off part of the root. You see the root right here, okay? And I'm just going to put the onion flat down. And I do this so my eyes are looking right at it, place the knife right in the center of the root, and push down just like that. And you now have divided the onion into 2 parts. I'm going to remove the skin. Generally, the skin is 1 or 2 layers down. And we just peel it back just like this, because those layers are very hard to cut through, and when you cook with them, they don't cook up as well either, okay? So there's 1 half there. Let's get the other half right here. So now that I've peeled the part of the onion that we're going to be cooking with, let me go ahead and show you an easy way to do the dice. If you'll notice that right here is the root, okay? It's going to hold the onion together as I'm cutting it. Also, you'll notice there's some lines on there, and those are also important because that's the direction the knife is going to cut down. So to make a mental note, I like to put an invisible line right here on that part of the onion. And the reason I do that is this, so that my mind will tell me to keep the point of the knife on this side of that invisible line. I then put the point of the knife down and bring it backwards just like this, and I'm making a series of vertical slices. Now I'm doing a small dice, and certainly we can do a large dice as well. So there's this, and as you can see where the lines are, you'll also note that the root is holding the onion together. Just go back down and go a 1/4 turn. And then with your knife going vertical slices down again. And remember, my finger placement is, I call this the monster grip. Just grip it like that and cut down in that manner. And there is a perfect dice to the onion. Now when I get to that invisible line that I put in there, just let it fall down like that and cut around the root, because now we no longer need the root and it's done its job, right? And that is how we do a diced onion. So now I'm going to do a large dice. The large dice primarily is used for when you're making stews, when you're making soups, where you want to see the onion. The smaller dice that we have done before is when you're going to incorporate it into a sauce and it kind of disappears, it cooks up. So with the large dice, I still have my onion half and I still have the root. And again, I'm going to make an invisible line to allow me to know that the point of my knife stays on this side of the line. But I'm only going to make about 3 slices down like this. And then when I turn it a 1/4 turn back, I'm only going to make a couple of slices down like this. Now depending on the size of the onion, if you have a larger onion, obviously you would make a larger, more slices than I did. And then at this point I flip it over again and cut around the root. And that is our large dice for making soups, stews, where you want to have a bigger piece of the onion and you don't want it to cook up and disappear into the liquid. Okay, that is a large dice of an onion. And now we're going to show you how to slice the onion. We're going to slice it two different ways. One, I'm going to slice an onion that you would use, say, for a salad. Would be perfect in there. Another way, I want to slice it, so if you were going to saute it, say, for example, a steak sandwich, like a Philadelphia steak sandwich, or maybe you want to slice it with some peppers and onions, those types of things. That's another way to do it, but here's what we're going to do. With our divided onion, you'll note that the root is still there. We no longer need the root for this particular cut. I'm going to remove the root out by just slicing it down, just like that. All right, put that off to the side, and we're still going to slice it down in a vertical slice. And if you'll see how I'm doing it, just like that. And continue till we get to the end of the onion. I have my monster grip. So with that monster grip, I'm holding onto the onion until I get to that very end, and then I'm going to flip it over and then just finish slicing it as we do it. And that's how I do a sliced onion that I'd like to use, say, on sandwiches where I'm going to do a sauteed onions and peppers. So now I'm going to do the rondelle cut, and if you'll look, the root is still there. I'm going to cut on the opposite side of the root, and I'm going to make a series of vertical slices down like this. And now when I get to the very end, it's kind of hard to hold on to the onion, so I like to do a bridge like this, and then cut in between like that. And then with the part with the root, I don't use that. And then, as you'll see, the onion just cuts like that. So there is a difference of the way it looks the previous way and this way, but it's also an attractive cut that you can use on salads. So now the next cuts I want to show you are the cuts that you would use for, say, a grilled onion, or maybe you would like to use an onion slice, like the whole slice for your hamburger. That would be great as well. I love onions just so many different ways. And also, the most favorite onion cut of all is cutting it when you're going to do some onion rings, like deep fried onion rings. Oh, they are just divine. So let's go ahead and show you how to do that. So for this cut, I'm going to peel my onion just a little bit differently. I am going to cut off the flower part right here and turn it around, and I'm going to cut off the root part. I don't need the root to hold the onion together, so we'll just go ahead and cut that off as well. So now I'm going to peel my onion this way. I'm going to make a small slice right like that, okay, because I don't want the onion to fall apart yet, and peel off the outside layer of onion skin right here. And sometimes you may have to go down to the second layer depending on the way it looks and holds together. Okay, so there's the whole onion. Now, of course, keeping your fingertips back is very important. So you have a monster grip. We're going to make a series of slices down right here. Now, when I'm grilling onions, I like to make the slice about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so keeping that in mind, they hold together a lot better. So let's cut down about like that. And then we'll place the whole onion right there on the cutting board and cut again. Like that. And then when you get to a part where you think you can't hold it anymore, we'll use our bridge, but I think I can get another slice. And then we go with our bridge right here. And place that on our cutting board. So now we have the whole onion where you can put it on your grill. A little bit of olive oil, a little herbs would work very well for that. Or if you want to take some batter and deep fry your onion rings, what you do is just pop these out right like this. And you have a series of onion rings that are ready for the fryer. Just absolutely perfect. There, I don't need that root, so let's dispense of that. So we have, as you can see, onion rings and then onion slices. Perfect for your burgers, for your deep fryer, and whatever else that you particularly would love to use them on. Okay, so now I'm going to show you two other cuts that are very easy but different. We're going to do a minced onion. We'll show you how to mince it very fine, and we're also going to show you how to do some petals. Now the petals are really nice too. I've used them for batter and deep frying. There's some dishes that they're just absolutely wonderful. They're also a lot bigger in size, which is good again in using them in stews and soups like that as well. Flat on your cutting board and holding it down with the palm of your hand, the heel of your hand, we can make a series of horizontal slices. This is before we make the vertical slice. Once we've done that, you go back a quarter turn, and right where that root is, make an invisible line again and make a series of vertical slices really close this time. Very, very close. We're not making a small dice, we're making a mince. So these are going to be very small pieces of onion, which literally will dissolve in your sauces or however you're cooking them. Or if you want to make a chutney, it'd be perfect to make a nice chutney with it, so they'd be small, easy to digest. Okay, now a quarter turn again and a series of vertical slices. And look how small and tiny those onions are. Also sometimes called minced if you like, or finely diced. And then when I get to that part where the root is, just cut down again, cut out the root, and there it is, a minced onion. And the last one I want to show you is how I could cut the onions into petals. As I said before, these are used, you could put them in a batter and deep fry them. They are just delightful. Or just incorporate those into a dish. For example, I would have like carrots and cauliflower and broccoli, and I'd want a bigger piece of an onion, and you could actually boil them if you wish, or blanch them and toss them with a little bit of butter. But those are whole new recipes that you want to check in as well. So let me show you how to do this. All right, I'm going to cut out the root this time. I don't need that root anymore. And we're just going to cut the onion in half, like that, and then cut it in half again. That's how simple it is. And look, it comes off in beautiful pieces like this, and it's perfect for your particular dishes that you would like to have a larger presence of onion slices in there. Well, here they are, all those wonderful cut slices that we made with my favorite vegetable, the onion. Now, of course, we'd love to have you sign up on our Patreon. We have the link right below. We also would love you to subscribe. When you subscribe, it means so much to us, especially even when you share it. And definitely want to ring that bell, hit that like button, and tell us how much you like it. Now, you know that I personally respond to every comment. So if you have a comment to make about onions, you want to share some recipes, you want to talk about it, I'm here, love to chat with you, okay? Please take care of that. Now, I want you to just check out all these cuts we just made. So here's the cuts. We have these sliced onions, perfect for burgers, okay? We have the onion rings. As you know, fried onion rings are so heavenly. We have the rondelle. I love rondelles, especially for salads. So good. And we got the petals. These petals will just be perfect. As well as we have the large dice and the small dice. And this is the small dice and the large dice. And we have the slices, which are perfect for using them on a grilled sandwich, like grilled peppers and onions. They're just so good. And the finely diced. I love the finely diced. If I'm making a chutney, this is the type of a dice that you'd want to use on your onions. And you know, as always, our recipes are simple and absolutely delicious.